that doesn't brighten your day, I don't know what does. I want to thank you all for being here. We have a very special moment here at the Jazz Festival we do every year at this point, and it's to present 2 awards. They're called the Guardian Awards. The Guardian Awards of Jazz were something the Jazz Festival came up with years ago to celebrate those individuals that have made a tremendous impact not only on the world and history of jazz music, but on the history of jazz in Detroit. This year we have 2 recipients of the award, and I want to take a moment to share some images of each of them and then have them accept the award. Our first award winner
seat taken?
In memoriam, a gentleman who's played here many times, and every time he's left an indelible mark on the city of Detroit. His music still resonates throughout the festival because of our tribute series and all the wonderful artists that have contributed to it, and he will continue to be very warm in our hearts. Our first Guardian Award winner is in memoriam to the great Dave Brubeck. Accepting the award, his family, his 2 sons, Danny Brubeck and Chris Brubeck. I want to present this on behalf of the Detroit Jazz Festival. It reads Jazz Guardian Award, presented in the memory of Dave Brubeck, artist, composer, jazz legend, for making the world a better place.
I just want to say that my father always loved playing here. You guys are one of the greatest jazz audiences in the world. You got soul, you got heart, you know the music, and you care about jazz. What more can you ask for? God bless you all.
Our second award winner. He's an individual who's contributed to the community in so many ways, playing in Detroit for decades. He's been a mentor to generations of musicians. He's been a teacher privately. He's taught at Wayne State University, again, for decades. He has nurtured generations of bassists and musicians in this community. In addition to being a great musician, he has also collected literally tens of thousands of photo images that he has archived and digitized and made publicly available that focuses on the history of jazz in Detroit. It is probably the largest photo archive of any such nature in existence. And the beautiful part, as he's made it publicly available, he gives of his time. It reflects literally 60 years of jazz in Detroit, from his personal experiences as a musician and those as a jazz lover. He's given so much to the community in so many ways. He's one of the great artists that we have, and in addition to that, he's helped us preserve the history of the great city of Detroit. Please welcome our second award winner, Mr. Dan Pliskow. Dan Pliskow. Dan, on behalf of the Detroit Jazz Festival, I'd like to present you with this award, the Jazz Guardian Award, presented to Dan Pliskow, artist, educator, mentor, archivist for a lifelong devotion to jazz and the city of Detroit.
No, you can take this. We're going to be leaving shortly. I feel much better with a string bass in my hand rather than this piece of paper. But I'd like to say good evening to all of you. I'd like to introduce you to my beautiful wife, Phyllis, whom I love very much. Being married to a jazz musician isn't easy. Phyllis, stand up. Sitting here are 4 people who mean the world to me. My daughter, Steph, and her husband, Paul. My grandsons, Jake and Leo, and thank you for being here. This is certainly one of the proudest, most joyful moments of my life. I wish to thank Gretchen Millade, Chris Collins, Detroit Jazz Festival for this award. Making my living as a jazz bass player every day for the past 60 years is really reward enough. What an amazing life I've had, and I'm still having, backing up some of the greats in jazz history. I played for Wes Montgomery, Bill Jackson at Baker's, with Terry Pollard on piano, Burt Myrick on drums, Whitney Kelly, Johnny Hartman, Roy Eldridge, Junior Mance, Vince Guaraldi, just to name a few, and all the wonderful jazz performers here in my hometown of Detroit. Last night I worked with the great saxophone player George Benson, and life doesn't get much better than that. I've had more fun than you could ever imagine between playing jazz, teaching thousands of students at Wayne State, privately since 1970. I recorded 2,500 hours of reel-to-reel tape while playing my Detroit gigs, donated them to the Library of Congress, and they're now digitizing them and putting them in their files. Thank you. Can't wait to hear them. You know, I really appreciate your acknowledgement of my taking nearly 13,000 photos, which I shot at every venue I played for the last 60 years. It's a visual history of Detroit jazz performers, which I'll gladly share with anyone who goes to my website or asks to see the books. Please believe me when I say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I most humbly accept this reward. Who says you can't be a hero in your own hometown? Thank you very much.
Dan Pliskow, ladies and